Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk to you as a Republican. This video is just for Republicans, right? Okay, and I'm sorry to everybody else, but you'll have to wait 5 minutes before my next video drops for there to be a video for you. Okay, so this is just Republicans. Today I want to talk to you as a Republican on why you should be extremely interested in Andrew Yang as your next president. Let's talk about it, okay? All right, so right now, the U.S. 2024 presidential election is the most important presidential election in human history. There's just, in American history, there's no two ways about it. There's more online than ever before because of Vladimir Putin. So let me explain what's going on with Vladimir Putin as succinctly and quickly as I can. Vladimir Putin, one incredibly dangerous human villain. A villain for all the most dramatic, important, potent human villain alive on the planet, bar none. Okay? Now think of the entire world population as one person. What Vladimir Putin has done is he's taken everyone to the cliff called World War III. And basically, even further, what he's done is he's given us a good, swift, figurative punch in the heart, and we are now dangling, right? And we're dangling with our back to the cliff, right? And he's holding our t-shirt and our hoodie clenched in his fist, and he's got good stance. And he's like, if you don't do what I tell you to do, I drop you off the cliff of World War III with everything everybody expects from World War III. Not just tank on tank battles, right? But NW's our king, right? I will drop you off the cliff. Vladimir Putin has grabbed the hoodie and t-shirt of the entire world, put us over the precipice of World War III, and said, I will drop you if you don't do what I say, right? And right now, the whole world's like, hey, cool down, calm down, man. Pull us back up. I'm like, okay, how do I, kick my legs out and grab the cliff? And then grab his ankle and shove him off the, I don't want to give up. I don't want to let this bully, get away with just because he's got a few Manhattan Project devices. That ain't enough to bully me, right? It's not, okay? And I hope it's not enough to bully you, right? You got to decide what your line is. This doesn't go over my line of being bullied. Not by a tin pot dictator like Vladimir Putin. No way, right? Okay, so you're a Republican, right? I know it's the world you want to live in. I get it, right? I'm an evangelical Christian. And every evangelical Christian now is stuck in a church where probably half the people, voted, or much higher numbers, voted for President Donald Trump. I very much don't respect this person, but I do respect the role of president. I don't respect Donald Trump. I don't. I think he's a repugnant human being. I just think he's an utterly repugnant human being. And I don't need to prove that to you, okay? Here's what he did. He wrote a book that said he lied constantly. It's called Art of the Deal. Just go read it. Right there, he says, I am a liar, and you should be a liar. It's it's literally in black and white. Me saying Donald Trump isn't a liar is not me cruelly giving him a name. It's a name he put on himself, right? And wrote an entire book to prove it, right? He's a liar, right? Here's what Donald Trump is. He is a liar, right? Who excludes his personal goodwill from every minority American. That's what he is. He's a liar who excludes his goodwill from every minority American. And I think it's more than proven in his 4 years. That's the problem with him. And let me be super clear, right? That's a huge problem, right? But I'm not ignorant of what he did, right? He protected for 4 years. He made sure that American wealth, American hope, and American security were 100% in his hands and never dropped, right? Biden began dropping those balls the second they were given to him, right? American wealth was dropped on day one when the pipeline was shut down, right? And then American security, we lost that on February 23rd, and American hope, I think he dropped that one on day one too, right? Everybody was like, oh my gosh, we're going to have an 87-year-old president. you lose hope when you realize you're about to have an 87-year-old president. Like, come on. Like, that's not even reasonable, right? Like, that's not reasonable. By the way, a lot of people said that he would serve one term. I've heard people in the comments saying he would serve one term. That is not correct. He never said he would serve one term. He has never stated that, ever, right? And he certainly never said that before the election day, okay? Now, if you got a reference, let me see it. I'm more than happy to take a look, right? All right, so here's the thing. Right now, the Republican Party doesn't exist. It's just the Trump Party, okay? And honestly, what President Donald Trump did is truly unprecedented. He hijacked an entire party. And I just listened to a 1 hour video, I'll link it below, of a bunch of very, very like tweed jacket Europeans talking. And they were so happy. They're like, if we were in this mess with Donald Trump in power, we'd be way more fabargled than we are now, right? Like, and what I think was fascinating is like, you guys are so like, y'all have your tweed jackets, y'all have your degrees, y'all have your books, right? And you don't get that if President Donald Trump was in power, we wouldn't even be here. Like, that's clear as day. Right? Like, it's ridiculous, right? So here's the thing. Trump delivered. He protected everything we needed him to protect. He protected American wealth. He protected American hope, and he protected American security, okay? And there was a chicken in every pot and 2 cars in every driveway, right? Macro level, not every. At the macro, at 51% of Americans, and probably the number is way higher than that, we're doing way better, and the economy was on rails. I get all that, right? And I get that you as a Republican want to win, and you want to win again. And I'm convinced Trump runs again, 99% lock that he wins, and you get to win too. Are you willing to pay the price? Because here's what's happening. Here's the real price. You are a Republican, and because it's the Trump Party and not the Republican Party, people are looking at you and saying you are a liar who excludes every minority American from your personal goodwill. I don't want to pay that price, right? I love every American equally, every single American. It doesn't matter what your gender is, doesn't matter what your orientation is, doesn't matter what the color of your skin is, right? It doesn't matter, if you play Yu-Gi-Oh! Versus Magic the Gathering. It doesn't matter if you use Apple over Android. I love them all equally, right? Like, it's just... You could even be a DC over a Marvel fan as an American. I still love you equally. And I do not want Republican to equal liar who excludes every minority American from their personal goodwill, right? And that's where we're heading, right? And the wins under Trump are tremendous. But here's the loss. You get the tag liar who excludes their personal goodwill from every minority American attached to you, and you lose the Republican Party. Because if Trump runs again for the next 10 to 20 to maybe 30 years, the Republican Party will not exist. We will go into Trump dynasty land, right? And they got him queued up, right? He's got kids, he's got, sons-in-laws and daughter-in-laws, and it could be a Trumpocalypse, a Trumpocalypse for 30 years. Trump cannot win on the Republican side. By the way, I got good news for you. You're about to win the next election as a Republican, guaranteed, right? The Democrats don't have a snowball's chance in the hot place, right? And no third party has ever won. So you get a guaranteed lock win, right? You're gonna win in 2024. The question is, does the Republican Party win or does the Trump Party win, right? And here's why you need to pay hyper attention to Andrew Yang, okay? The reason why you should be hyper interested in Andrew Yang is you're behind, right? I know you. You're a Republican. Merit, right? Performance matters. Well, guess what? You like to tell people, I love every American the same. Do you? Right? And here's the question. Did you prove it? The Democrats proved it, right? There's only been one minority president in 240 years, right? And it was on the Democrat side. They did it. They put up the numbers. They did the merit. They actually did the job. On the Republican side, words are supposed to matter less than actions. The Democrats have already proven that they love minority Americans. The Republicans haven't. They say it's true, but they've elected literally like 45 white guys, right? And 0 minorities. As a Republican, if you would like to not be thought of as a liar who excludes their personal goodwill from every minority American, then what you need to do is prove it with your actions. And if you want a minority candidate who is crazy smart and will hold and never drop American wealth, American security, and American hope, Andrew Yang is the guy. He's Christian adjacent. I don't think he's a Christian. It's a whole conversation. But he's very, 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 his wife, I think, is an evangelical Christian. And his main number one, the Batman to the Robin to his Batman is literally, his father was like an evangelical Christian pastor, right? He is very dyed in the wool and gets Christianity. He values it, right? And he is a man of character. I know that's hard to remember in the Republican Party after looking at Donald Trump for 4 years, President Donald Trump for 4 years, but remember, Republicans, character's supposed to matter, right? We got to get back to where we were, okay? If you're a Republican, start paying hyper close attention to Andrew Yang. He's the guy, right? If you want a chance to beat Donald Trump, if you want somebody who has innovative ideas, and if you want to prove that your actions are more powerful than your words, and you want to catch up to the Democrats who are ahead of you, who have actually done and proved that they extend goodwill to every minority American, and it's not just their lips flapping, but the action is there and the proof is there, you got to do it. You are behind, right? There used to be a debate on who loved minority Americans more. That debate is over, right? The Democrats proved it with action. On the Republican side, it's just words right now. Do what you say. If you say you love minority Americans equally as non-minority Americans, prove it. Put one in the U.S. presidential office. And Andrew Yang is the guy. He gets us. He holds a lot of our values. He's a man of character. Please consider it. That's my opinion. I'd love to hear yours. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.